start Slow Scan TV Net. Good evening. This is Wilson, November 6th, Echo Mike Foxtrot, your net control operator for the River City Arc Slow Scan TV Net. This net serves for training and practice in image transmission modes and meets Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock p.m. on the N6NA repeater on 441.30 megahertz. River City Arc's members and all licensed radio amateurs are welcome to participate. If you wish to join the net or need to make a call at any time, please announce your call sign between transmissions and net control will acknowledge you. If an emergency should arise and you need the repeater, please contact the net control by saying break break. A double break signifies emergency traffic. The net will stand by for you until the emergency is terminated or the traffic is moved to another frequency. Well, this net will be live streamed on YouTube as well. You can find it on N6NA.org and click on nets, and you'll navigate your way through to the Slow Scan TV Net, and you'll probably find out how to navigate to the live stream on YouTube. Stations who wish to check in are asked to respond with their full call sign using the recognized ITU phonetic alphabet and their name. I will recognize each station before continuing. Any station who wishes to check into the net, please come now.
November 6, Papa Golf, Quebec.
Kilo Lima 7, Hotel Quebec, Romeo, Neil and Antelope.
Romeo 6, Hotel, this is Anders in Folsom.
Kilo November 6, Quebec, November Juliet, James in Gold River.
All right, well, welcome Bob, N6PGQ. I got Neil, KL7HQR, and Anders, NR6H, James, KN6QNJ. Well, hello everybody. Welcome cast. Any other check-ins?
Kilo November 6, Tango Bravo Delta.
N6TBD, welcome. Thank you for checking in, Carol. KAP4MD, got you logged in. KN6TBD, what was your name?
I'm sorry, this is Kyle in Folsom, KN6TBD.
Yeah, Kyle, I've gotten away from my notes, and I apologize, but you were with us last week, correct?
Yeah, last week I was trying to figure out the whole memory channel debacle, but I think I got it squared away now.
All right, well, very good. Welcome back, and good to hear your voice. Well, let's kick this off, cast, and you're part of the cast then. And let's see, where are we in the script? Lost my train of thought here. So, well, if you're ready, we can start kicking off some image transmissions if we don't have any other check-ins. All right, well, Bob is quick on the trigger. Did you want to be first? N6PGQ, N6EMF.
Okay, sure. This is N6PGQ. If this works, it should be PD120.
right. Well, Bob, N6PGQ, for me, I was able to successfully receive a whole image. I won't take any fun out of this. I will extract not a single ducat of fun out of this. Ducat, right? Is that a Roman currency from the old days? Ducats, something like that. Anyway, I won't comment on what it is, but it does look delicious. How's that? So I'll turn this over. I'm going to go out of order down to Kyle, and I'm going to check with Kyle to see what kind of progress he's made. Are you on the air with the Slow Scan TV software and receiving, or what are you up to, Kyle? Turning it over to KN6TBD.
Yeah, KN6TBD. Unfortunately, I did not copy anything. I'm just using an Android app here. I tested it out before we got going here, and I can transmit from one phone to the other, and it works just fine. But I had the same problem when I was trying to receive you guys' pictures last week. Did not copy anything.
All right. Well, so are you doing acoustic coupling?
Just playing straight into the speaker of the phone from the radio.
Okay, very good. So yeah, you've got to probably. Geez, I may have lost track of how you're doing out there. But are you going to tweak some settings and keep trying?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a shot, see if I can figure anything out here, and regardless, I'll try to transmit this evening and see how that goes, if that goes at all. But that's all I got. Back to net.
All right, well, give it a shot, and we'll check back with you next go around. Well, Bob, I'm going to turn it over to, let's see, where are we? Neil, KL7HQR. How copy?
Good evening, gang. KL7HQR. Good copy here. Very, very good, clear picture. It looks like something delicious. I don't know what's in the middle, the black and white items, but I can see what seems to be some barbecue sausage / hot dogs that seems to have some grill marks, some jalapenos on the right-hand side, a little bit of what appears to be a hot dog bun, some onions, sliced onions, and sliced peppers on the left-hand side. So it looks like somebody is getting ready to have a very nice meal. And I don't recognize what's in the middle, so I'll be very, very interested in knowing. But the picture came through beautifully, good colors and good resolution. Excellent.
Yes, I think at the top you've got crushed Oreo cookies. How's that? All right. Well, thanks for that, Neil. We'll turn it over to Anders and our 6H. How copy?
Excellent copy in this hand. Good resolution, good colors. There are some pops, pixels, but they are kind of hidden because of the rest of the picture. So it's clearly dinner time or lunchtime or something like that we're looking at here. I see a pair of tongs up in the left-hand corner that are attacking some form of brown mushy thing. Not sure what that is. Like Neil, I'm not sure what's in the middle, the round thing there. If it's, Oreo cookies that has been crushed in the middle, maybe, and all the other food is looking at it. Maybe that's what's going on. And R6H, back to net.
All right, perfecto. Thank you, Anders. That was great. KN6QNJ, James, how copy?
Good evening. The picture came through brilliantly. The colors are great. As Anders said, there's some pixel pops sort of hidden in there. It looks like a delicious meal. I don't know what we see in the middle top. Certainly looks like a meal that when you're done, you're going to have to brush your teeth. But I'm interested to hear more. KN6QNJ.
Very good. Carol, KP4MD, thank you, James, rather. And Carol, KP4MD, I'm not monitoring YouTube, but want to say thank you if you're able to get the YouTube streaming going, and wishing everybody out there monitoring on YouTube very good evening, and thanks for joining in and watching the show. What comments would you have on the photo, Carol?
Yeah, okay, this is KP4MD. First of all, shout out there to Craig, WP2N, down in Cajun Country, Louisiana. He's checked in with us tonight on YouTube live chat, and JoJo is working in a hospital. He checked in. It's KN6HTD. And Frank, Whiskey 6 November Yankee X-Ray, over there in the Bay Area, I believe, also checked in. If you look on YouTube, you could see the picture I received. It looked absolutely spotless, really good quality. I see the jalapenos, peppers there in the lower right-hand corner. The things to the left of that, it's something or a wrapped spiral. I don't know if that's bacon wrapped something. Now that kind of a blackish splot in the middle on the upper hand corner there. I wonder if that's something that's scorched or burned, because it looks black and then around the edges it looks kind of brown. So I wonder if this is a cooktop that had something burnt on it. That's just my guess. But everything else is as everyone else explained. So back to you, Wilson. This is KP4MD.
All right, thank you, Carol, for giving a shout-out to the YouTube viewers, and I'll try to get on there and monitor the chat traffic in just a moment if I can. And, yeah, bacon-wrapped hot dogs. Wow, that's just making my mouth water. I have already eaten dinner, but might want to go out and get a hot dog tonight from somewhere. Makes me have the munchies. Well, KN6 TBD, I know we passed through once before, but why don't you just raise your hand, Kyle, if you want to do a test for tone, transmit, or anything like that. Let us know how you're doing from time to time.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and play along here on YouTube, if that's all right. But other than that, I'm not having any luck with this thing, so KN6 TBD, back to net.
One last question before we go back up. Which app are you using on your mobile device for SlowScan TV?
Yeah, it's called Droid SSTV. I was copying from you guys 2 weeks ago when I was just listening in, no problem. And then now for some reason it's just not picking anything up. I can do it. I have two different phones here, and I can transmit on one and receive on the other, and it does it just fine. But yeah, I don't know what the issue may be. I don't have any kind of interfacing cables or anything like that to be able to actually plug into the radio, so I'm not sure.
All right, just a suggestion I'm going to throw out there is maybe you want to reboot the device, restart, possibly. Sometimes that can clear things up, free up memory or something, or shut down all the apps. I would have no idea, but just throwing out suggestions. So good luck. Turn it back up to Bob. Tell us all about this fantastic cuisine that you put on display for the mouth-watering, effects that we got here. Go ahead.
Well, as you know, we went to the NASCAR race at the Coliseum. And as you walk down the street, headed towards the Coliseum, you'll find 3 or 4 or maybe even 5 of these stands alongside the road that are selling bacon-wrapped hot dogs. And you could put anything pretty much you want on it, from shrimp, which is in the middle, to onions and peppers and everything else. And they people only charge $12 for hot dogs, so it's not too bad. When you get inside, there's only one hot dog stand, and they sell pretty much the same thing, so they must be related to each other, part of the concession, because there weren't any people out there selling anything else. Anyway, thought I'd send a food picture instead of a car picture. N6PGQ.
All right, very good, Bob. I think I hope I didn't get distracted and miss something. But what was did you say what the black thing is up in the upper middle?
Yeah, I think it's just some kind of, you know, I don't know what you call the stuff. It's not grass, but it's something that you protect the shrimp from burning. You know, some kind of vegetable product.
Oh, okay. Well, very good. Thanks for sharing something like this, food and fun. How's that? Any other follow-up questions or comments for Bob?
AI6TG, good evening.
Hi, Joel. Good evening, AI6TG, N6NA FM. Are you checking in, or are you going to participate tonight? What's your operating mode?
Well, I didn't get in. I didn't check in or turn the radio on early enough to have received the amazing-looking food. Yes, those bacon-wrapped hot dogs. Just mouth-drooling. My mouth is just. That looks good. I mean, you're trying to make us hungry. But I'm ready to receive and transmit when my turn comes, and on the next, and receive for the next round.
All right. Well, thank you, Joel. Well, all right. Next up, KL7HQR. Neil, are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready. We're going to send something out. I think there will be not much discussion after. It's just something I thought you was kind of curious, and something that you see as you travel around the world. Once in a while, something catches your eye. So it should be PB 120.
All right, Neil, I was able to copy the photograph, and I can tell you that image came through nice and crisp and clear. Just a few pixel pops that really don't matter because they don't interfere with the quality overall or the intent. So, nice photo. Let me be succinct on this round and turn it over to Bob in 6PGQ. How copy?
Oh, I copied it very well, very few pixel pops, and I think Neil showed this one before, so I'm not going to make any comments because I think I've seen it in 6PGQ.
All right. Well, very good. How about Anders N6RA or NR6H rather?
I would agree with Bob here. I have a little bit of deja vu. So we are at gate 14, and I think it was gate 14 last time also. So I'll pass on the torch to the next guy. NR6H, back to net.
Okay, thank you, Anders. James, you're up. KN6QNJ. How copy?
Even though we've seen this before, I still really enjoy it. And I think it has a very interesting story, as I recall. The photo came through really well, very clear. So I don't have much more to add. And I'm trying to remember if this, where it was, somewhere in Asia, as I recall.
Very good. I appreciate that. Yep. I think recollect seeing this photo before, but there might be a different perspective here. With Neil, you never know. He might have a different perspective here. Okay, Carol. I could see what you see now on YouTube, and what would you say about the photo? What comments would you have, Carol? KP4MD and 6EMF.
Yeah, this is KP4MD. I remember seeing a picture just like this before, and I think it was in Hong Kong. This is a sample of the poor translation. They probably use Google Translate from the Chinese, and it came out as Chinglish or English, I think they call it. If you look up on the internet, you can find websites that have samples of all of these kinds of signs that are rather humorous when the literal translation. So back to you, it's KP4MD.
All right, very good. Well, let's see. How about, thank you, Carol. How about Joel, AI6DG? Were you able to copy?
Excellent reception, definitely a repeat. And the only thing I find interesting, the main thing I find interesting about it is just how would you express it in English? It is kind of a difficult statement to express in words. Go around. It's behind you. Yeah. There's lots of improper English ways of saying it, but what's a formal, proper English way of saying to turn around? It's behind you. Back to net AI6DG.
All right. Well, there could be something in this photo that's hidden that we're not seeing, and I think Joel, Neil has it. Okay. Neil, thank you, Joel. You're up. Neil, KL7HQR.
Roger, KL7HQR. Well, I apologize if this was a repeat. They say at my age you tend to forget things. And I may have forgotten that I had sent this before. But to tell you the truth, I don't remember forgetting anything. So, no, there's nothing specific. It's just this was taken, if I remember correctly, it was in the Shanghai airport in China. Primarily because that's the only airport that I've been in China. And it is kind of interesting the way that. But think about it the other way around. If we had to write something in Chinese, would we be able to translate it as accurately as this has been done? So it's one of those things. Anyway, I apologize. I will try not to repeat again. Back to that.
Yeah, we'll give you 3 of those, and then we'll have to kick you out, Neil. So be careful out there. Oh, I'm just having fun with it. But it's a lot less agonizing to forget that you forgot. So no worries. All right, Anders and R6H. If you're ready to transmit, go right ahead.
I'm going to make a little technical experiment, so I will need about 15 seconds, and then my transmission will start. So stand by.
Standing by. Thank you, Anders. Oh my gosh, this is going to be interesting. Let me do a slant correct. And I was able to copy pretty decent photo. The clarity was, well, the sharpness was not that great. But apparently Anders has sent a photograph, Robot 36, I think. And looks like it is some sort of PDA, potentially a BlackBerry PDA, electrically interfaced to a handheld transceiver of some kind. And on the left, on the PDA, there is a sort of a test image of video, which I don't fully understand, but it would be interesting to hear what others think and to see what's happening here. But could he have a slow scan TV or amateur radio TV interface going on here? It'd be quite interesting to hear. So how about Bob, N6PGQ? Were you able to copy?
Yeah, well, there's quite a few pixel pops, but boy, it came through fast. It looks like one of the newer DMR radios, perhaps, and a test pattern of some kind on the left. I'm going to have to wait and get the final scoop. But anyway, it came through really quickly, and looks good. N6PGQ.
Yeah, well, I can see that the date in the lower left-hand corner is today, and quite possibly he's he's monitoring something. Well, thanks for that, Bob. And how about Neil, KL7HQR? How copy?
Yeah, KL7HQR. Yeah, good copy. As Bob indicated, quite a few pops in there, but due to the mode of transmission, the resolution is not quite there. But we're taking that in consideration. He came in beautifully, no problem at all. Very curious to know what is this, the interface between the handheld and what appears to be the display device. The cable seems to have something in there. I don't know what kind of toroids or something is in the middle of the cable there. So curious to know what the details are. Back to that, KL7HQR.
Very good. Thank you, Neil. And so K and 6Q&J, James, how copy? What are your impressions?
I'm seeing the same thing that everyone else sees. I do have a slant that came in. For me, it's green on the right side. I'm very curious to see what NR6H has put together there, KN6QNJ.
Yeah, very good, James. And you can correct the slant if you kind of close out the zoom in picture box and go to the sync tab on MMS TV if you're using it, and then click on the happy face to correct the image. I think that's one way to correct it manually.
Thanks. I don't see that, but I'll find. Oh, there, I see it. Thanks.
Oh, very good, very good. Nice work. KP4MD, Carol, would you like to, I could see that you copied online, but would you like to comment on the photo?
Sure, this is KP4MD. Nice sending of Robot 36. It's faster, but a little bit lower resolution, of course. And it's an interesting. I wonder if that is BlackBerry. I haven't seen a BlackBerry in such a long time. Could be a standard smartphone with what looks like a keypad just on the screen below it there. And that's a standard color bar test pattern that I've seen before. Actually, I think we have one of those test patterns on our website for people to download. That radio on the right side, it looks like one of the newer DMR handheld radios. And it's interesting. It has there's an interface cable connecting the smartphone to the handheld radio. And it looks like it's doing both push-to-talk, receive and transmit audio, and going in through that the headset jack on the telephone. The device in the cable in the middle, I wonder if that's some sort of a Vox circuit, perhaps, or perhaps another type of isolator, maybe an opto-isolator or something to electrically separate the to prevent ground loops. Although there should not be a problem with ground loop there. Anyway, very interesting. Thank you for sharing. Back to Net Controls, KP for MD.
All right, very good. Well, yeah, thank you for that, Carol, and we'll turn it over to Joel. I know he's monitoring. I'm not sure if I missed you on the last round, Joel. If I did, I apologize, but would you like to let us know whether you were able to copy and if you have any comments?
Nope, nothing missed. This is the first round, the complete round since I checked in. So a phone of some type on the left, a radio of some type on the right. I think it's probably an Anytone 876 or 868 or 878. And BlackBerry's been mentioned a couple times with the phone on the left. That could be. Not many phones have a keypad like that on them, and it doesn't look like the BlackBerry I remember. But I remember the old BlackBerries. I don't know what the last BlackBerries before they folded looked like, and that could be what it looked like. The cable going between is unusual, but in that it's going from the radio into a phone rather than into a computer. So it's I'm assuming a TRRS plug instead of USB. The thing in the center looks like just a normal volume and mute adjustment thingamajig like you would find on headphones, but finding it on a cable between a radio and a phone is unusual. So I'm most interested in what kind of phone it is and what kind of cable this is, custom or store-bought. Anyway, back to Net, AI6DG.
Very good, Joel. One thing I can say about Anders, he always has something very interesting to share, things that he's figuring out. So sure be interesting to hear from Anders. And I think you're up in R6H. What would you say?
So this is NR6H. I guess there was more to unpack than I intended there. This was inspired by the previous minimalistic transmissions that we had a couple of last week and I guess the week before also. So this is actually what I used to send this picture. Everything in the picture was the only thing used to get that picture over to you. So to the left is a phone. That is my old and trusted TCL BlackBerry. So it is a BlackBerry sponsored device, I would say. It's actually running Android, and it's made by a company called TCL. The hardware is made by TCL, and it has some aspects of what used to be BlackBerry. So there's a central messaging hub and stuff like that, but mostly it's an Android device, so there's nothing special with that really, and that was not the intention to talk about the phone, about this picture. The cable is something I picked up on Amazon. It is a interface cable, audio going into the radio, and it's bidirectional, so I can receive or transmit using that cable. It's not doing PTT. It's just you could obviously set up the radio for Vox, and that way it would control the radio. But it's just audio, and the little dongle in the middle is kind of integrated in the cable, and that's just a level converter to make sure that the levels are good to and from the radio. And then finally, the radio itself is just an Anytone. It's actually an 868, so the older version, but it's hacked to, I upgraded the firmware in it to get it into an 878. But this was my SSTV setup for the night, and that's really the story behind this picture. NR6H, back to net.
Wow, that's just amazing. Oh, wow. So, do we have any comments or follow-up questions, comments for Anders? Amazing stuff.
Questions of Anders KL7HQR. It shows how simple, relatively simple of an equipment you can use nowadays to do this. So, good job. Appreciate it, KL7HQR.
Thanks for that, Neil. Any other comments, questions? I will have one, but I'll wait and see if there's others.
Question and comment.
Okay, go ahead, Joel.
And the app on the left on the phone, I'm guessing is, I believe it's called Robot 36 after the mode. And it comes up with the color bars like that as its default image. And can I get a clarification on what the intended function of that cable is? Is it for stuff like slow scan or something else?
So first of all, affirmative on the software. It was Robot. The software is called Robot 36, and that's why I used Robot 36 to transmit the picture. It does other modes too, but yeah. Try to keep true to the defaults here. The cable, I actually purchased a cable specifically for APRS use, and that is, it actually, the part number of it is APRS-V01. Yeah, that's what it says. But obviously it's just an audio cable, so it could be used for any audio to or from the radio. So you could probably play music through it also if you want to, but not on ham radio, I guess. But yeah, that's what it is. So yeah, originally made for APRS. That's what and that's what I used it for before. NR6H, back to net.
I think that covered my question. Thank you for that, Joel, and for the response as well. Nice rig, nice setup, Anders. Keep going. All right, well, jump down to Kyle, KN6TBD. I saw on the YouTube chat that he thinks he's ready to give it a whirl. He's got his system up and running now. You want to give it a try? Kyle, go ahead.
Yeah, I downloaded a different app to receive. I'm going to attempt the same app to transmit. But yeah, I actually did copy that last that Anders sent. And funny enough, I was going to say that it looks like an APRS cable, but I wasn't sure that's what it was. Anyway, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and attempt to transmit.
N6 EMF here. Let's see, Kyle, I think I was able to pick up a pretty good image. A couple of times throughout your transmission, it's possible that you dropped the transmit. Maybe you lost your grip on the transmit button of your handheld, possibly, but it dropped a couple of times, but picked right up. And towards the end, I did not hear that familiar closeout tail, whatever that is. So, but I did get a pretty good picture. It's a picture that looks like microgreens in the foreground, and some type of possibly a utensil or tool or maybe an instrument that's plugged into the soil. That's my impression. Don't know what it is, but it looks pretty interesting. Can't wait to hear about it. Well, let me go in reverse chrono order and start with Joel. Would you, how copy?
Yeah, pretty good reception, whatever method you're using. If it's acoustical coupling, it came across quite well with maybe a slight amount of ghosting around the letters on the very top. And yeah, there were definitely a couple of drop-offs. I was kind of in suspense. Okay, come on, pick up, start up again. And I have no idea what I'm looking at. Is it grass? Are we looking at grass? So is that like maybe a weed puller tool thingy to stick in around the taproot and pull? And what's the thing in the center? Is that maybe a weed you just, the scar in the grass from a big weed you just pulled? I don't understand. Look forward to the explanation. Well, welcome to the club, the SSTV club, and good first image. Back to net, AI6DG.
I think it's a vegetarian snack. How's that? Well, thanks for that, Joel. KP4MD, Carol, what would you have to say about the photo? I can see what you see on YouTube, and you're zooming in and out. Nice work.
Yeah, this is KP4MD. Something green plugged, and it's thrown in there. There's some writing on the handle. That's what I was trying to read, and I don't know if it's our standard alphabet that we use, or it's kind of looks like maybe backwards. CH. Then there's a letter there that looks like it might not even be a letter. Some other language. Can't really figure it out. It's I wonder if that's in the ground or if that's stuck into some kind of food. I'd have no idea. But yeah, there were two breaks in the transmission, and you see those as horizontal bars where the signal dropped out, and fortunately it didn't cause the SSTV to start completely from the top. That happens sometimes. If it drops out long enough, it'll just start. It'll just wipe out the screen, and it'll start again from the top of the frame as if it were a new picture. So back to you, Wilson. This is KP4MD.
Okay, thank you for that, Carol. Let's see. Well, K&6QNJ, James, how copy?
I see the same results both on my computer and on YouTube, where there are two line breaks from the transmission stopping momentarily. Craig Bruce on the YouTube suggests it may be a golf divot, which is what I thought it was, and that looks like a golf tool, which I think is used to clean your cleats, if that's what it is. But it really looks like a tool that's marking a divot, and it looks like a divot on a putting green, not the fairway. But I'm interested to find out from Kyle. KN6QNJ.
Yes, me too. I'm held in suspense. Thank you, James. NR6H, Anders, how copy?
If this was an audio or a acoustic coupling, it was fantastic. It's a great image, good quality, few pops, two breaks, like everybody else said, and I think it ended early. I didn't hear the tail signature of the transmission there, but yeah, good picture. Can't really see any pops, but that's because of the lawn or whatever it is that is already hiding all the little pixel pops. Strange tool, don't know what that is, don't play golf, so I have no idea what's going on there. I'm going to say that this has to do with squirrels, and I think that Mr. TBD is out there digging up the nuts from the squirrels to hide their food away from them. That's my guess. And just a quick comment on Carol, you are very heavily modulated tonight, so you're over-modulating and to the point where your radio is making breaks, so you probably want to tune back a little bit. This is NR6H, back to net.
All right, thank you for that, Anders, N6EMF here. KL7HQR, how copy?
KL7HQR. Well, along with everybody else, I was kind of curious what it is, and my first impression was it was a Green's divot golf tool that you try to fix your little divots when you hit the ball, make marks on a green or on the fairway. But so it came in very, very, very well. But Kyle, you are to be commended. For the first time a week ago, on your very first transmission, you came in on the SSTV Net and successfully communicated with us and did a fantastic job. 1 week later, here you are transmitting a picture. So, congratulations, sir. You're in for a fantastic ham radio career ahead of you. Back to net.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Neil, for the recognizing Tyler for his important work that he's doing here with us. So thank you very much. Kyle, I goofed that up, rather. So that was KN6TBD, Kyle. Okay, Bob, N6PGQ, how copy?
Well, as everyone mentioned, it dropped a couple of times. At first, I thought it might be a dandelion puller, but boy, that grass doesn't look like my lawn that has dandelions in them. It's too well manicured. So I don't know. I'm not a golfer and don't know any of the golf tools. So I'm waiting to see what it is. I don't know how you'd put grass back on with something with a hole in it, but we'll probably get an explanation in N6PGQ.
Yes, very good. Thank you, Bob. Okay, down to Kyle, KN6TBD. Tell us all about this photo.
Yeah, all right. So, first of all, yeah, the two drops that happened, I didn't realize, but I'm on a Baofeng UB5R here, and after a certain period of time, transmitting, it yells at you and says, transmission overtime. So I had to drop the button real quick and pick it right back up. So that's what happened there. This is a golf divot repair tool, but there's a little more to it than that. So the letters on the handle say CHAMP, CHAMP, and there's a golf course over by Greenback and I-80 called Foothills Golf Course. And Cameron Champ, PGA tour player, actually owns that course. He bought it back in, I believe it was 2018, after his first big win. Him and his grandfather used to play golf there, and he bought that. Anyway, so I went there. I took up golf beginning of last year, and got to know the guy in the clubhouse there. And I went over there one day and did not have my divot repair tool with me. So I asked if he had one I could borrow, and he reached way in the back of the drawer there at the front counter and pulled this tool out and says, make sure you bring this back. This is Cameron. So I got to play full 9 holes with Cameron Champ's divot repair tool, so I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, so that's about it. Back to net.
That's quite a juicy story, and all the time along I was thinking it was microgreen. So congratulations on getting started with some new outdoor activity in the last few years with your golf. So that's nice. I'm curious too. Did you take golf lessons there? Did they offer some training getting started? You said you just started off with golf back in 2018.
No, actually, I started playing golf in beginning of last year, January 2021. But I did take some lessons. I took lessons over at Golf Galaxy in Roseville from a guy named Kyle Butterfield. But no, they do not do lessons there. They are remodeling the place now, and they're going to turn it into well, anybody can still go and play there, but the main focus will be basically a youth training facility where they'll put on free youth clinics and stuff like that. So that'll be nice. N6TVD, back to net.
Look, you got a couple of great things going on now, Kyle. You got the ham radio and golf, and some awesome things to have in your at your disposal for things to do. So, any other comments or questions on the golf divot repair tool?
No, but a quick comment from KL7HQR. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to kind of drop off here. I apologize to you guys. See you guys next Wednesday. Enjoy it, as always. KL7HQR, clear.
Okay, Neil. Thanks for checking in and staying with us. 7-3. Have a good evening. 6 EMF. So Kyle, hopefully you were able to get that tool back in the shop where it belonged. But did we have any other comments for Kyle? Nice work, Kyle, on your transmission. Keep up the good work, and keep up the golf. Sounds fun. Where were we? How about Joel, AI6DG? Would you like to transmit now?
Did you get tone?
Indeed, yes. Thank you. Tone's good.
Martin 1.
All right, Joel, I see a very golden sort of golden themed photograph interior of some kind of building, with some kind of exhibit on display, or maybe it's a water, like a fountain with some sculptures on top. So I won't extract too much fun out of it. I like to circulate it, let others kind of comment on it. But it was a really nice photo, really clean. A few pixel pops scattered throughout, but nice environment with people standing around taking photographs. So I know Neil's out, but I'll skip down a couple. Let's see. Bob, N6PGQ, how copy?
Well, the copy was really good. Looks like a entrance lobby. There's 3 screens right in the middle to the right of the statues. I don't know whether that's a bar area or something to that effect. Obviously, the people are entering through the doors on the left side. I don't know, it's a lot fancier place than I go to. Maybe back in Las Vegas. Who knows? N6PGQ.
Who knows? Let's see. Thank you, Bob. NR6H, Anders, how copy?
So I copied in stereo. I actually got the image both on my little handheld setup at the same time as I got it on my 991. And surprisingly enough, the phone picture almost looks better than what I got from the 991 and SSTV. But anyway, back to the picture itself. Excellent copy on both of them. Very few pixel pops, good colors, solid image, really good, technically very good reception. And as for the motive, I would put this in Las Vegas, and I would put it in Caesar's Palace. That is my guess. NR6H. Back to net.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Anders. Interesting. How about James, KN6Q&J?
I think Anders is right. It's Caesar's Palace. Photo came through very well, both on YouTube and through my 991. But I don't have anything else to compare it to. A few pixel pops throughout, but a really nice photo. And the color's kind of interesting on it, I think. Just the nature of taking a photo inside, and just the way the whole lobby's laid out. KN6QNJ.
Very good, James. Thank you. Carol, KP4MD. Any comments, questions on the photo?
Okay, yeah, this is Carol Kelpop for Mike Delta. This is these types of pictures that Joel has sent in the past have been generally from Las Vegas, and I'm going to guess this is an entrance to a hotel or a casino, maybe Caesar's Palace, but the opulent type of decoration goes along with that, so I would agree with that. Back to you, is KP from D.
Thank you for that, Carol. That was KN6EMF here. Kyle, KN6TBD. How copy?
Yeah, KN6TBD here. Good copy, good solid copy. Not a whole lot more to say about this than has already been said. Right off the bat, the screens in the background past the fountain there made me think of a casino. Yeah, not much else to debunk from this. It's a really nice looking place. It's a really nice photo, and I may have to go visit here if I ever go back to Vegas. So I'm assuming it's Vegas, but could be wrong. I know I definitely have never seen any place that nice in Reno, so not sure. But that's all I've got. KN6TBD, back to net.
Very good. Thank you, Kyle. Well, I think, Joel, you're up. AI6DG. It's the photo that we would like to hear from you about?
Well, I didn't stump anyone. Yes, it's Caesars in Las Vegas. This is the main registration and main entrance area. Entrance to the left. Yes, that's a bar/restaurant. Off to the right, behind the statues with the screens. Registration itself is off to the right, kind of behind me. And there's a lot of the hotels in Vegas have been pushing these automated screen check-in kiosks, so you don't necessarily always have to check in at the counter with the person anymore. And I think the bellhop's off to the left, with some casino directly behind me, and I think some off to the right, just to the right of the bar restaurant, which is actually also one of the ways to one of the towers, and also behind me to some more of the towers. I'm not sure that this is what it looks like anymore, because they just spent a bunch of time and money redoing the big entrance with construction cranes and things blocked off and the whole bit, so I'm not sure it looks like this anymore. But it's obvious that at least a couple of people here have been to Caesars in Las Vegas before, that they recognized it so quickly. Although maybe it's just that Caesars has that look with the Romanesque statues and everything. That could be, because that's also characteristic of Caesars. And that is a fountain. There's a statue on top in the middle with water underneath it. And a bit of a spectacle, obviously, but people, you see people there. That lady in the red on the left taking pictures. That's what they're usually doing. Back to net, AI6TG.
All right, wonderful. Thank you, Joel. Any comments, questions on Joel's photo? All right, nice one. Thank you again, Joel. And we'll go up to Carol, KP4MD. Would you like to transmit a photo?
Yeah, sure. This will be PD 120.
No audio yet, Carol. N6NA EMF.
Okay, hold on. I think I need to restart. I might need to restart the MMS STV, see what's going on.
Okay, we'll give you a couple of seconds, and then I guess James would be up next, KN6QJ. Give Carol a couple of seconds, and if not, we'll just roll over to James if Carol doesn't mind.
This is N6QNJ standing by.
All right, we got one. just took delivery of a really decent photo of a gentleman holding a placard from apparently ARRL. Can't read the text, but this gentleman's got a fisherman's hat on, and what's in the background is a nice ham shack on a desk. So it'd be interesting to hear who's being featured in this photo from Carol, KP4MD. A few pixel pops here and there, but pretty good color balance and pretty good image sharpness from my perspective. Well, let's see. Bob, how copy?
The picture came through real well. You can see looks like forward and reflected meters on the top and a desk lamp that's attached. Maybe an antenna switch to the right of it. Another couple of, looks like switches also. Monitor and nice desk with a pull-out keyboard rack. And a person with an ARRL certificate. You can read ARRL at the top and see the ARRL logo at the bottom. I'm waiting with bated breath for the explanation, N6PGQ.
Okay, very good. Thank you. I know Neil's out and Anders still with us. NR6H, I'll copy.
Good reception, a few pixel pops all around, no other text on the picture, and yeah, plaque that clearly some kind of achievement. Can't really say what's on there, but it looks like a nice plaque. Also interested in that radio with the dual VFO knobs there. That looks like quite the machine that's sitting on that desk. So yeah, looking forward to the explanation. NR6H, back to net.
All right, I'm going to scramble the list a little bit. Thank you, Anders. Joel, AI6DG, how copy?
Yeah, I noticed that with the dual VFO knobs too. I didn't know that there was such a thing. So, but I'm assuming that this is one of the higher-end contesting rigs. I also noticed a static noise on the background on the first quarter or so of the image, and then all of a sudden the noise went away. So from about his chin up, there's a slightly higher amount of noise in the image, and then below that a lot less. I wonder what happened there. Anyway, he's happy with whatever it is. I can't quite read what kind of award it is. Back to net, AI6DG.
All right, thank you, Joel. Kyle, KN6TBD, I'll copy.
Yeah, good copy here. A few pixel pops, as mentioned. Nice large radio of some type that is beyond me. Definitely ARRL plaque there. Looks like I could be way offline here, but I think it says ARRL and then something on the second line. And then I believe it says presented to Dr. Jason something, and then a call sign. Not sure, but that's what I can make out there. Yeah, good picture. That's about it. KN6TBD, back to me.
Okay, thank you for that, Kyle. And let's see, James, if you're still there, I know you were on standby, and KN6QNJ, I'll copy.
Got a good copy, similar to what others described in terms of the pixel pops. Of course, on the YouTube version, it's perfect, but then I remembered because it's from Carol. I think the one feature we have not talked about is this gentleman's hat. And since I like to wear hats, I notice those things. But I don't have much more to add. I'm interested to hear the story. KN6QNJ.
All right, me too. Thank you, James. Carol, you're up.
Okay, this is KP4MD. I actually took this picture yesterday. I went over to this gentleman's home in Fair Oaks. This is Dr. James Jolly, Whiskey 6 Romeo Whiskey India. And this is a very special award from the ARRL, which I don't know if I'll ever get to see again in my lifetime. It's called the ARRL Centurion Award, and it was presented to Dr. James Jolly, that's his name, in recognition of his passion for the hobby. And he is 100 years old. He is 100 years old. He was first licensed in, I believe, 1939. He was 17 years old at the time. And he stayed with the hobby since that time. Of course, when he was first licensed was before we entered World War II. And he served in World War II as a Coast Guard radioman aboard a merchant marine ship that he had a lot of stories to talk about that. I actually sat down with him, and he was there with a couple of his daughters were there, and a caretaker in the home. And he was present during the American recovery of the island of Kitka, which was the only part of United States soil that was occupied by the Japanese during World War II. It was one of the most distant islands of the Aleutians. So he operates 20 meters and 15 meters CW as his preferred modes. And that radio on the desk there, he has a lot more equipment in the shack. I just got this cropped in to get a good close-up of him with his plaque. That's a Ten-Tech Orion 2, which is, of course, Ten-Tech doesn't make radios anymore. But he also has a 600-watt linear amplifier to the left of that, which he uses sometimes. But he had, for 100 years of age, believe me, he's very lucid, very eloquent in speaking, and he's got all his wits about him. I mean, to be able to operate CW, you really have to be pretty sharp. So this is going to appear, I'm sure, in QST magazine, but I gave you a little sneak preview. I got this picture yesterday, and I was honored to present him this award. So back to Nets, KP4MD.
That's a Centurion Award. That's very cool. Thank you for sharing that, Carol. That is just amazing. And I didn't copy the call sign accurately. Was it W? I'm curious. I might look him up. W6RI, was it?
Yeah, it was W6 Romeo Whiskey India, RWI.
W6 Romeo Whiskey India. Thank you very much, Carol. How about others? Do we have any comments or questions on the photo of the Centurion? Amazing, 1939.
N6QNJ. That's really great, Carol, that you were able to do that. Is he active in any of our local clubs?
Yeah, he's a member of the Berryessa Amateur Radio Club. They have the repeater on 146.97, and I've heard him actually talk on that sometimes. And he's in one other club, which I think is Nevada County Amateur Radio Club for some reason. He's, oh yeah, QCWA. That's the Quarter Century Wireless Association. The local chapter here in Sacramento is SOTARS. That's the Sacramento Old Timers Amateur Radio Society. And they meet down at Denny's restaurant on Sunrise near Highway 50. Back to Nets, KP4MD.
Well, that's right by my house, but I don't quite yet qualify, but I hope to someday.
Sure is a worthwhile way to spend 100, in my opinion. I agree with you, James. Thanks for sharing this photo. It'll be interesting to look this award up and maybe see if he's on QRZ. All right. Well, I think we got one last photograph to transmit, and that one resides with James, KN6QNJ. If you're ready, go ahead with your transmission. If we didn't have any follow-up questions or comments for Carol, I'll take pause on that. All right, go ahead, James. Thank you.
All right, PD 120.
All right, I'm stumped. I know it's an antenna communications tower of some kind. It's a segmented tower and some kind of antenna system at the top. But that's about as far as I can go with it. But it's a sky view and a nice photograph with quite a few pixel pops, but I definitely can see the image. And how about Bob, N6PGQ?
Well, it looks like we're looking up at a hex beam on as you said, a segmented pole, and it may be attached to the square tubing on the left side, and I can't tell why we have coax connected there, going up a few inches. Can't see it going up the rest of the tower unless it's loading there. Anyway, I'm going to be interested in seeing what is said. A few pixel pops in the clouds near the middle, and that pretty much describes what I have in N6PGQ.
Interesting, yeah. Thank you, Bob. NR6H, Anders, how copy?
Excellent copy on both my little machines, and I don't want to give anything away, but since I said that, I'm giving something away, so I will defer to the next person. This is NR6H, back to net.
All right, thank you very much. All right, KN6QNJ, that was your photo, KP4MD. Would you like to comment on the photo?
Yeah, it gives the impression of being a hex beam on top of a mast, but the other thing it could be is possibly a vertical with a capacity hat on top, similar to an HF discount. That's the other thing, but you would see more I don't know. It's you would see more um, elements that are leaning down from the feed point if it were a discone. I'm going to go with a hex beam. I'm expecting. So back to you. This is KP for MT.
All right, I'm starting to look at this. Thank you, Carol. And the coax, it doesn't look like coax. It looks like a vacuum hose or some kind of pressure hose. Is there a dehydrator function here? I wouldn't think there's a waveguide or anything like that in this application, but it could be. And it just doesn't ring true like coax to me, but it might be. Anyway, just kind of spinning off what Bob offered. And N6TVD, Kyle, would you have how copy?
Yeah, good copy here. Being new to ham radio, I'm not 100% sure what I'm looking at here. I'm going to go ahead and just follow everybody else and say it's a hex beam. It's definitely an antenna of some type. That so-called coax there, now that you mention that, I'm not sure if that's coax or if that's maybe it's a hydraulic line of some type to adjust something up and down there along that square tubing. Not sure. I'm interested to find out. Yeah. N6TVD, back to net.
All right, cold brew distribution pipe. How's that? Thank you, Kyle. Joel, AI6DG, you're up. How copy?
Hey, yep, hex beam. I can see wires for 3 bands, although typically these are 5 or 6 band antennas, so that would be, what would that be, 20, 17, 15. You can see the coax going off at a weird angle from the middle of it off to the right. The line coax or hydraulic line off to the left is probably a pneumatic line, although it could be hydraulic. And in fact, right halfway up it, you can see kind of a handle going off. So I'm assuming that up on the top of that line is the valve to open and close, and the mast is my guess is it's pneumatic, because I know this is probably on a mobile trailer for like a field day or a field setup, and it's common for these setups to use surplus pneumatic masts from like TV vans. So you, and that's what the bar on the left probably is probably the support to lift it up and to support it rigidly, to keep it pointed up. So you there's probably an air pump somewhere, and the valve opens up, and the air pump pushes the air through, and then you close the valve, and the pressurized mast stays up, assuming you have good seals. And I'm wondering what club and event and this was, and they look like they had a nice day for it. This may be the field day last summer. Back to net, AS6DG.
Well, Joel, there's nothing left but a carcass to explain now. I think we picked it apart pretty good by now. So thanks for your observations, and let's hear from James. I think KN6QNJ. Tell us.
Well, Joel did do an excellent job of explaining what this is. This is actually part of a amateur extra class that I'm taking through the Sierra Foothills Amateur Radio Club. Anders is one of the instructors, so he was there, and when I'm done, I would like him to add any other commentary. But that's exactly right, the way Joel described it. We had a Honda generator powering an air compressor, powering the pneumatic hydraulic system, and each section had to be raised individually and you move that handle back and forth as each section is raised and then lowered. We were able to, as part of the class, put the hex beam together. We only did do 3 bands. I think it was 10, 15, and 20, but there is room for 2 more bands on it. Break. I don't know the origin of this particular mast, but it is mounted on the back of a Toyota Tundra. So it came down nicely, but it's a pretty big setup, and the coax, went to the area where the radios were, worked very well, and Anders can talk about that in a second. Anyway, this was in Roseville on Saturday. We had nice weather. It was a bit cool. We also hung a dipole antenna. I have pictures of that. Maybe I'll show those next time. KN6QNJ. Let me know if there are any questions.
Awesome work, guys. I didn't realize that Anders was teaching. Well, nice work to you, Mr. Elmer. Nice work, Anders. Thank you. And James, excellent. So, do we have a round of comments or questions for James?
N6TVD. I'm just curious on that. You said it was mounted on the back of the Toyota Tundra. Is there any kind of outriggers on that? How do you keep it stable? And also, how tall is it?
Anders might know. I'm guessing it was about 40 feet tall. Yeah, there were outriggers that came off the hitch to hold it up. Obviously, they were removed before the truck moved, and the whole thing could be dismounted from the truck.
All right. Well, very cool. Any other thoughts, comments on this one? Maybe one last question is what material was this? Like a fiberglass or a resin sort of thing?
I think the mast was steel or aluminum. The hex beam antenna is those I don't know what to call them. The spidery legs, I think, were fiberglass. Is that what you're asking about, KN6QNJ?
Oh, I meant to ask about the mast, the material of the mast. I couldn't tell by looking at it. Looks like it might be some kind of polymer or the resin. Maybe it's aluminum.
It's definitely a metal. It looks pretty heavy. N6RH Anders. I hope I got your call right. I think you were able to do FT8 with this antenna. Do you want to talk about that just for a second? I know it's late.
Yes, I believe that this mast is steel. Actually, it's quite heavy, mounted on the hitch of that Tundra, and it's the club property. So it's the W6EK club's thing that they drive around with for field days like this. And it goes up pretty easy with a pneumatic lift there, and it goes up to about 40 feet. I'd say it's a little less than 40 feet, some of maybe 38, up to that big antenna up there. So, and I was able to do FT8. We hooked this up to my 991, and we were doing contacts with Chile, all of South America, really. Argentina, Uruguay, Panama, all over the place down in South America this day. Even though the thing was actually not pointed there, it was pointed east. But somehow we got a really good connection with South America. So it was an awesome day, Saturday. Lots of fun, and it was cool. NR6H, back to net.
All right. Well, thanks, Anders, for that. I appreciate it. If we have no other comments, what I'm going to do is seek to close out the net. It's getting pretty late for us, but I've had a great time this evening looking at all these different wonderful photographs and just the conversation and the camaraderie. It's great.
N6TVD. I'd just quickly like to say thank you to everybody for being so welcoming and being so patient with me. I really appreciate that, and having a lot of fun.
It's great. I'll say it on behalf of the entire cast. You're one of us now, and you're very welcome. And congratulations for all the hard work and the progress you're making in such a short amount of time. Just like Neil said, an acoustical coupling. Keep doing what you're doing. It will lead to other things. You might master it, or you might get on to electrical coupling. So that'll be fun too. All right. Well, let me go ahead and just express appreciation to everybody for participating in tonight's Slow Scan TV Net, especially to Carol for keeping the YouTube streaming going, and for everybody that brought their pictures in and went through the process. And we hope to see you again next Wednesday at 9 o'clock p.m. This net then is officially closed at 10:35 p.m. Pacific time. This is Wilson, November 6 Echo Mike Foxtrot, wishing all of you a good evening. 7-3.
Thank you, Wilson. You should go first next week.
Very good. Maybe I'll do that. Now, Anders, both Anders and James, shut down those 991s now, will you? Have a good evening. 7-3.
7-3, K6QNJ.
Well, you too, and I agree. You should go first next week. See you later, guys.